So today I'm happy to have Sam Sullivan here with us. He has been the 38th Mayor for Vancouver. He is currently an MLA and the President of the Global Civic Foundation. Sam has also started 6 nonprofits and raised over $20 million through the Sam Sullivan Disability Foundation. So Sam, thanks very much for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Just to start off with, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I was born in Vancouver, raised here, and I had a skiing accident when I was 19. Became a quadriplegic, lost most of the function of my body, and went into. I was on welfare. I was living in social housing for about 7 years, and went into quite severe depression, and eventually came out of it through goal setting and through developing my bucket list.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. So Sam, you've had some really great experiences. I was hoping you could share those inspirational stories with our members.
After going through the disability experience and realizing I had to take control of my life, I then set a number of goals. And basically I was trying to figure out what I wanted out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought one way to figure out what I wanted was to look at what I was doing and where I was going before my injury. And I saw certain things, like I played in a band and I played music. So I decided to institutionalize that goal, and I created the Vancouver Adaptive Music Society. And then I wanted to go skiing again. I loved taking time and going skiing. I realized that wasn't as easy for me as a quadriplegic, and I tried to imagine what other sport would give me the similar kind of thrill.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose sailing.
Yep.
And actually I chose flying before that, and I ended up going ultralight flying as a result. But we created the Disabled Sailing Association, which has gone around North America, and it's been there's programs all over.
Excellent.
And it's funny to look back at that and see it was all based on a personal goal, try to achieve something on my bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of catalyzed this whole thing. Because one of my goals also was to have a business.
Yeah.
And my father had a small business, Sully's Auto Parts. And it turned out that these kind of businesses were the nonprofit societies. And I kind of achieved my goal of having a business in the nonprofit world. Mm-hmm. And it gave me all the pleasures of starting something, helping it grow, and building it into something. What it didn't give me was the equity, but I got the spiritual and emotional equity of creating something.
And is the Global Civic Foundation the nonprofit that you're most involved in right now, or?
All of the groups that I established in my immediate post-disability world,
Mm-hmm.
I abandoned them. And they're all very successful. They're actually more successful than when I was running them, which is a little embarrassing to say, but they're doing fantastic. They're thriving groups. And then I started another group called Global Civic Policy Society, and that's the one that I have most of my emotional involvement in.
So Sam, I was wondering what's up next for you. What are your next bucket list items?
Right now, I'm very focused on telling stories and researching and developing a better understanding of our past to give us a sense of where we could go in our future. As an MLA now, I really wanted to grasp what does it mean, British Columbia, what does that mean? Where do we come from? Where are we going? And I have a whole bunch of questions since my time as mayor. Why were certain things possible and other things not possible? why was it so hard to achieve what seems to be very valid, important goals? And it turned out that there were stories and a narrative told in the past that we still live in. And the whole philosophy that's connected to that narrative is dominating now. And my thought is we need a new story. And I'd like to be part of telling it.
Excellent. And can I ask maybe that's a great answer, but I want to dig deeper. If you were to sum that up into maybe one or two action items or bucket list items, is there anything that you'd like to share? Or
Mostly writing, or actually I would like to do it through video.
Through video, cool.
So editorials.
Yeah.
I'm right now working on a number of editorials that would be a service to the constituents.
Yeah.
Help me and others get a better grasp of what it means to be British Columbia, British Columbians, and that's a big one on my list right now.
Excellent, excellent.
I can't hear a word. I got to grind your voice to come up.
It seems like a lot of people have success when they align their goals with their core values. What are your values? What's really important to you?
I really love learning.
Learning?
I think it's so important for us to be very aware of the latest in understanding and to apply it, to understand what's important and to be able to convert that into action. So I love the place where ideas meet action. That's where I want to be. I want to be right at that nexus. And there's a lot of ideas without action are useless. Action with ideas is scary.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that deliberation, thought, intelligence is a part of what we do, and especially collectively.
I've heard a lot of good sayings about there's nothing wrong with being a dreamer, but if you can connect that to being a doer, a highly effective person, somebody who can affect change. Are there any strategies that you follow in setting your goals?
I find it's very important for me to be able to quantify and also to make the goals reasonable. Especially when I was exploring goal setting right after I was a quadriplegic on welfare and whatever. I set some pretty lofty goals, and if they're too lofty, they become demoralizing. They actually harm your efforts, because you become so unhappy with yourself. But I also set them just far enough to be a little unhappy, and I'm not quite happy and content with myself unless I'm getting a bit further. So I cultivate that frustration or sense of need to get some stuff done, and but keeping the goals simple as well. So I do have the problem of setting too many goals. So, but if I just keep breaking the goals down into manageable pieces, it's the loftiest goal requires a phone call. You got to pick up the phone, and so do it. The first step, exactly. So those are important.
Excellent. So a few of the key takeaways I had there is to keep them simple, to keep them quantifiable, to make sure that they're realistic, but at the same time to push the bar a little bit, to make them not too easy.
Yeah, and sometimes my goals are lofty, and I'm amazed that I achieve them. But if they are lofty goals, make sure you break them down into the first steps.
Small bite-sized pieces. Excellent. So in terms of next steps and lofty goals, is there any chance we might see you in more political positions in the future?
It's not my formal goal. My goal is more about the story, the narrative, and setting a framework of where we need to go, which is not done that much, by people. People are happy to live in other people's realities. They've created these narratives in the past, and we just live in them. I like to create a new narrative, and that's a pretty lofty goal in itself. And certainly, if I can be part of helping to live in that narrative, yeah, I'd be interested.
Excellent. Sam, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to getting people's comments and feedback from the Buckley's community. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.